Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
All right, and we are back in the lobby bar for the week of March the 17th, 2024. Brian and Michaela here with you, and we're recording a day early. Our lobby bar episode, Michaela, normally we do this on a Monday, but we're doing it on a Sunday today because you're getting ready to take to the skies to travel for work. And that's a bad day to be traveling, honestly, because today is a day that we're supposed to be celebrating all things green, all things
All
Irish.
things
It's St.
green.
Patrick's Day, Michaela.
That's right. It is St. Patrick's Day, and it's kind of it's weird because I've had the honor, the ability to celebrate St. Patty's Day in a bunch of different countries, and not in Ireland, I will say, but like
Mm,
in the UK in general, and they treat it very differently than we do. So I'm a little scared of being out and about today because it's kind of amateur hour in America. We dye
it
things
is.
green, we wear green stuff, we put on green hats. We could be like totally not, we could be from a little town in like Mazatlan, Mexico, and today we are all Irish. We could, we just, I don't know, there's green glitter everywhere, there's green beer everywhere, and we don't know what we're doing with it. We're just
That's right.
drinking like tons of it.
We're drinking tons of it. I want to say, if memory serves, I think the second time I ever saw you, met you in person, was on a St. Patrick's Day. You and your husband came and we met for dinner, and you were one of these amateur hour people. You brought your own food coloring to the restaurant, I believe. And
Okay,
was that amateur move? Was it a pro
no,
move?
no, no, no.
It was an
In my,
Irish move, maybe.
it was a look here. Here's the
It
deal.
was a move.
It was a move. I wanted to have a green beer, not 67 green beers. And that's where
Mm,
the amateur move comes in because like, don't drink and drive, right? And we were in the middle of Charlotte. So it was like there's no reason to get completely sloshed unless you're getting a taxi home. Which people weren't doing. So that's what I mean when I say amateur hour. So yes, good
yes.
memory. Good memory, Brian. It was actually like the third time we had met and
Okay.
we went to this place and I ordered a light colored beer because if you're going to have green beer, you can't really do a dark colored beer, which is ironic,
Mhm.
given that Guinness is really the beer that you should be having on St.
Fact.
Patty's Day.
Every
But
day, really, to be honest.
right. So I think I ordered like a Heineken or something, and I put a couple of drops of green food coloring in it to have green beer because it is kind of tradition. I don't think
Yeah.
I'll be getting up to that today because I'll be flying across the sky, but who knows? There's some other drinks that we could probably do.
Now, we were at a pretty fancy place, and you were exactly like Will Ferrell and Elf, like at breakfast, right? You asked the waitress, you're like, "Do you have any green food coloring?" And you're like, "Oh, I think I brought my own." You pulled some out of your sleeve, just like Elf, Buddy the Elf does there with his maple syrup at breakfast. That's what you were like. But yeah, you should definitely be doing something to celebrate. We're going to be celebrating. Michaela's probably going to do something fun, green beer wise, when
I
she
just
gets to
want to
her hotel
say it was
later
at that
today.
moment, Brian,
Maybe.
that you decided that we were going to definitely have a podcast together.
I
I
know.
just want
Yes,
to say you were like, I got to have a podcast with this lady
I decided something
talking
for sure.
about drinks.
That's right. We need to talk about drinks. So let's talk about some drinks. So St. Patrick's Day, you already alluded to it. Guinness, that is the best one. Have a Guinness today. Have a Guinness every day. I'm going to have one today. That's what I do. If you don't want to go the beer route, that's certainly understandable. You could go with the tried and true. Uh, Jameson has claimed it as their own, the Jameson and ginger ale. It's actually an Irish buck, which is the same thing as a Moscow Mule. It is the same thing as a dark and stormy, but a buck drink refers to that it has lime and ginger ale in it. So a little bit of Irish whiskey, a little bit of lime, and some ginger ale. You're good to go. That's delicious. But I found this cocktail, Michaela. It's called the Dubliner, and since this is your year of whiskey, I think this is going to be a good one for you to get into it because I think Irish whiskey should be your jam because it's a little bit sweeter, triple distilled. That is nice from some malted and unmalted grains. That is great. Gives it a little bit of kind of honey characteristics. I think Irish whiskey
Ooh.
could be your jam. That's your gateway whiskey right there, Michaela. So what we're going to do for this Dubliner is do this. Into a shaker tin, 2 ounces of Irish whiskey, a half ounce of Grand Marnier, a half ounce of sweet vermouth, and 3 dashes of bitters. It's like a Manhattan, except it's a Dubliner. It's going to have a little bit of orangey goodness from the Grand Marnier.
Mm.
Delicious.
This sounds amazing. And I bet I have some Irish whiskey. So before I get on my plane, I might make me up one of these because I think I have all the things. This is what the lobby bar is really all about, is learning about new drinks that anybody can make, including me. This is awesome.
Including you. Absolutely. So that is a really good one. Please send us your favorite St. Patrick's Day drinks or Irish whiskey drinks our way. We would love to know that. Michaela, you promised on our episode last week, we talked about Oppenheimer, Best Picture edition,
Yes.
right? So the Oscar edition there.
Yes.
We made our cocktail there, but you also had the opportunity to infuse some of those flavors. Let's remind everyone of what that cocktail was. It was the Oppenheimer cocktail. We got it from Fanny's, and part of that was it had some date vermouth in it, but it also had bourbon with the addition of almond and black cardamom seeds. So you were able to actually infuse some whiskey with the black cardamom and the almonds, as opposed to just muddling some of the cardamom and using some almond extract. What was the flavor difference there for people?
So it was much more cardamom-y. I don't think when we recorded this, last week and we tested this out, you had said, hey, it probably should be some cardamom bitters. Spoiler warning, I didn't even think about that. I just got us some black cardamom. And so they definitely have cardamom bitters, and that's probably what they meant, because it was very cardamom forward when I infused the bourbon with the cardamom. Almost overpowering. Not only that, but fun fact, when you soak almonds, they get real soft and they almost start to break down a little bit with the alcohol. And so I left my infusion alone for a good day or two. And then when I shook it to kind of look at it, it really messed with the clarity of it. And this drink was really beautiful and clear. So I think probably what they did was use an almond extract to keep that kind of clarity and like that beautiful clearness in their drink. I'm not really sure, but I will say the almond part was really nice. It changed the way it felt in your mouth. It definitely changed the texture of it, because even when I double strained it, it wasn't as clear. And I don't think there's really going to be a good way to remedy that, just because there's so many little particles that are inside now infused into the bourbon itself. It was very tasty. It was very Moorish, but it definitely had like a lot of cardamom flavor that I don't know if that was really the intent, because it was very cardamom forward. And if you like cardamom, it's your jam. If it's like licorice to you and you don't like it like me, it was very overpowering. So that's the take. I'd still recommend doing it, but I would infuse the almonds, maybe, but I would probably just skip the black cardamom and get some cardamom bitters. That's what I'd probably do.
Okay, all right. Sounds like we had a pretty good one the first time around there. So thank you for continuing that experiment for us. I'm sure you had to suffer through having another delicious Oppenheimer drink for sure. Speaking of Oppenheimer, that's what we talked about last week. This week, Michaela, we are talking about Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 is up just about to $400 million worldwide as of our recording right here. And that's what we're going to be talking about this week on the main episode. Got a really good cocktail coming everyone's way for that. That sounds good, but we're going to be doing some bonus Dune content. We just cannot get enough Arrakis and sand and Chani in our lives. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a cocktail recap from the drinks we had that night. And we're going to be releasing our Patreon bonus episode talking about the 1984 version of Dune, commonly known as David Lynch's Dune. So we're going to be talking about that over on our Patreon. What do we got coming out this week, Michaela? This could be a busy week for us at the movie theater, except we're both going to be traveling. So hopefully get to see some of these maybe. But we've got Labyrinth getting a re-release back in the theaters today. I'm not sure how long that's going to run for, but we're going to be talking about that on the show here in the next couple of weeks. Labyrinth getting a re-release, which is great. Love to see that. It's only the 38th anniversary of Labyrinth, so I'm not 100% sure why it's getting a re-release, but that's okay. We'll take what we can get.
We sure will. And I'm so excited about it. I love Labyrinth. It was a huge part of my childhood. I still cry at the end. It's so great. I mean, why is anybody surprised at that? But I still cry at the end. It's so amazing. It is like I think there are two types of people in this world. There are people that were like the Dark Crystal kids, and then there were the Labyrinth
Mm.
kids, and I was a Labyrinth kid because the Dark Crystal kids scared the crap out of me. I don't know why anybody would have a 5-year-old watch it. They're scary. Okay, Labyrinth less scary. I don't know. Goblin King really terrifying. David Bowie in tight pants. I don't know. But I'm definitely Labyrinth kid. I'm so excited. We've got a
You
great cocktail set up for that one too. So listen to that one, everybody.
Absolutely. You just cannot hang with the Dark Crystal kids. Maybe we'll have to do a compare and contrast on the on the life trajectories of those kinds of kids. We've got The Boy and the Heron. It's back in the theaters. You and I missed it the first time around, so
Ugh.
maybe we'll get back to see it here. It's getting a theater re-release, so that's good if you missed that one the first time out. Luca, the Pixar film that was came out in 2021, did not make it to the theaters then for obvious reasons, but it is going to be getting a theatrical release, so that's nice if you want to see that. The week that Luca came out onto Disney Plus, I think it was, we had our nieces and nephews in town, so I've seen like the first like 15 minutes of Luca 9 times. So I'm interested, I guess, to see how the rest of that film goes because I liked what I saw, liked
Yeah.
the Luca story. And then a big
So
one, Michaela, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
yes, I'm really excited about Frozen Empire. I will say this about Luca, the pasta scenes, there are scenes where they're eating pasta. It looks delicious. It's the best looking animated food I think I've ever seen. It's right up there with
Oh,
Ratatouille as far as the animated food. It's really good.
okay.
So give that a look. But yes, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire looks really fun. Looks like Bill Murray is taking a bigger part. I think in this one, I'm seeing a lot of previews, and I love Bill Murray. I love me some Bill Murray. So I'm super excited about this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I wasn't completely sold on the first trailer, but then we just saw the kind of extended trailer when we were seeing Dune before that, and it looks pretty good. So I'm pretty excited to get back into the Ghostbusters world. So that's what we got going on. So everyone out there, have a safe and merry St. Patrick's Day. If you're getting up to something, some good drinks, let us know that. Be safe out there. That's the most important thing for sure. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Lobby Bar. We'll be back to talk about Dune later this week, and we'll talk to you next time.